Now, after that, we move on to the environment portion. Now, the environment portion is the most trickiest portion in answering for the prelims exam, because the kind of questions that are being asked are not only related to the current phenomenon, but they are also the options are very similar. So there are high chances that you might go for a wrong option. So the best thing is to read extensively about the recent phenomena and trying to whatever you are not able to decipher in the newspaper, like what is the meaning of that term. Go on the Google, find out the meaning of the term, see what is the literal meaning of that term, and writing certain notes about that topic. So that should be a focus. Taking a single important like microbeats. Suppose they ask about you microbeats. So if you're not aware about this topic, go directly then and there on the Google and try to find out the various aspects of that microbeats, like what is their features, what is their size, what is the implication on the environment, how they can be avoided. So that should be a that can also be helpful during the mains exams also. Now, after that, this is generally I'm talking about the science and tech portion and environment portion. After that, moving on to the geography portion, the questions are mainly a very static, and they will be focusing mainly on the GC Leong portions, like how the general physical phenomena happens, and at the same time they will be focusing on the maps, where that country or where that mountain is located, what are the surrounding countries of that particular region. So you need to be very precise on your studies, like focusing on the NCRTs, the basic book which has been recommended by the institute. Keep revising it. Also reading the whatever you have been reading, try to connect it with the map. So you will be able to, and if you are not, if you are not able to decipher how this phenomena, or how the cyclones are made, or how the clouds are made, so just go on the YouTube, try to find out how the actual phenomena. They will be explaining it to you in very simple terms. So that should be a focus, the geography portion. Now, after that, uh, general important tips for the prelims exams. These will be applicable to each of these subjects. First of all, there are 100 questions, and I will suggest that go at least for 90 questions. If you are first in the first, in the like, if you'll be reading your question paper at the first instance, you should focus on or you should do all the questions which are definitely that you are aware that these answers will be very correct. After that, go in the second reading, go for those questions in which you have an doubt in two options, but try to do that question, because at last what will happen that there is certain strategy of certain candidates that they will only do certain questions which they are very sure of. They will be 100% correct, but at the end what happens that they will be on the borderline. So that will be I think not a good decision. So you should focus on the answers which I'm definitely aware of. At the same time, even if you are aware that out of these two options, one would be correct. So go for an educated guess and try to attempt that question. So at least attempt 85 to 90 questions. That would be, I think, the most important thing, so as to avoid the borderline cases. That should be attending the 90 questions and keeping a tab of the timeline. Like sometimes what happens that we try to decipher a question or try to decenter in the various, like we try to remember what we have already read. So try to keep a tab, see how many questions you have to attempt in half an hour. Like making a deadline, in this time you have to attempt these number of questions. And the same is the case specifically and most importantly for the second paper, that is the CSAT. Like if you go up in the CSAT paper, there will be various paragraphs in which they would be asking you about they will be giving an English paragraph, and there will be 3, 4 following questions with respect to that paragraph. So try to directly mark, first go through, just have a glance at the various questions which are given at the bottom relating to that paragraph, and then reading the comprehension of whatever the paragraph is there, and then directly marking the answers. And for the reasoning and the mathematical portion, that is the maths, which is if you are able to identify the answer in the first instance, then try to mark it and then go to the next question. If you're not able to like find out the answer, do not waste more time. Like you once you are not able to decipher that answer, so go to the next question rather than wasting your time on a particular small question. You can again come back to those issues or whatever you are not able to identify the answer correct in the second go. So in the first go, do within the timeline as many as questions as possible. So that should be your strategy for the CSAT. Like timeline is very important for the CSAT paper. I've seen various people who are not able to do the question paper fully, and they are not even able to read the various questions in the English comprehension. So that should be avoided. Maintaining the timeline, try to avoiding the delay if you're not able to identify the answer on a particular question. Avoid it. Go to the next question, and then again coming it back for the second reading, whether you are able to decipher if you have a time in hand. So that should be a strategy because it is mainly a qualifying paper. And for the prelims exams, for the first paper, as I told you, he at least attempt 90 questions. In the first instance, go for the correct answer, which are 100% sure here that is correct. In the second reading, go for the answers which you have which you have to choose between. Like you have eliminated two options, and after that, two options are remaining. So go for an educated guess that what is the maximum chance, what is the 60% chance that this option would be correct. So go for that also. So that should be a strategy for the prelims exams. Now coming, I will not be for the mains exams. I will not be talking about the what should be the material which should because reading the newspaper, whatever you have read in the prelims exams is directly helping you in the mains exams. But in the mains exam, what should be your strategy? That I'll be talking about. Like there is specifically focus on answer writing. That should be a focus right from the first day. You should directly from right from this day, you should try to write at least one answer, because over the period of time you develop a strategy. This is the way I should write it. This is the way I should not avoid these mistakes. So that will be helpful. So go for the answer writing every day, at least one or two questions. And now, after that, what you should do, you should for every topic, like for you are preparing for suppose uh, a topic on inflation, try to keep certain facts and figures with you, which you can use in your answers. That will add a sanctity to your answers. So, keeping a 5 to 7 figures with you and using it appropriately or the spread it over your answer, like in the various parts, even in the introduction, even in the content, the main body, and even in the conclusion portion. Now, the candidates have a major uh, that what should be the format of the answer. So the format should be the directly coming written to the topic, write a simple definition of whatever has been asked. Like I will again coming back to the inflation. What is the general meaning of the inflation? What do you understand by the inflation? Now, after that, after writing the inflation, you like you can also use whatever has been like keep a hand like 5 to 10 economists you can remember. Okay, these are the top 10, 5 or 10 economists. Use their name as it where it is required, even if they have not said it. So that will add a value, even if they have not said it. But the examiner would know that will be providing a sanctity to the answer. At the same time, you will be using the name of the economist, facts and figures, the various key terms like for the economics exam. So sorry, I think I was muted. Uh, so So try to keep a handy facts and figures. That try to remember the name of the, like even if you are going for the security wala question. or security, try to remember who are the cyber experts in a particular field. Try to remember the facts and figures, like what is the loss due to any cyber attack. Like 4% of the GDP is lost because of the cyber attack. So these types of facts and figures should be, whenever you are reading a newspaper, try to incorporate in your notes. What are the facts and figures relating to it? What are the experts on those fields? And try to place those important things in your answer. That will be adding a great value to your answer. So after that, once you have written the definition, you go for the background. What is the reason for asking the question? Like inflation. So you will